Hello everyone, welcome back to Saint Luminus. Before I get started with this video, I want you to say hi to my friend Fred over here, because if you don't like this video, you can tell he's got a bone to pick with you. Guitar Hero. Do you remember Guitar Hero? I don't know why it came across my mind the other day and I was wondering what the hell really happened to Guitar Hero. But of course, when I started to dig into it, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to do just a video about the history of Guitar Hero, how it got started, how it evolved, and where we're at today. So as I started digging forth, oh my God, there's so many company names and people involved. Red Octane on harmonics and Activision and on this went. So the whole thing is really convoluted as lots of stuff changed hands. So I'm gonna try to keep it simple because I wanna hear from you about your experience with Guitar Hero. So before I really get into it, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you could be notified the next time I put out a video. Guitar Hero, it started about, the middle of the 2000s, and, it had a big success. It was huge, right? And I gotta be honest with you, I played that one time, only once. So I'll give you a real brief my experience with it. Now at that time, I had already played guitar for many years. I was giving guitar lessons. I already graduated from the Musicians Institute. So something like Guitar Hero never interested me at all. I was already playing guitar and in bands, etc. So I decided to play it one time, and I admit it, like the first, I don't know what the song was that I played, but I tried playing it kind of like a video game, the hand-eye coordination. I was trying to play it like I was used to playing video games, that there's this hand-eye coordination. And I had to admit it wasn't working. I was really sucking at the first 30 seconds to a minute of this game. I'm like, this game just sucks. So what I decided to do then instead was play it more musically, more rhythmically, because obviously playing it like a regular video game wasn't working. And huzzah, suddenly the game started to work. I was able to actually play the game because I played it more rhythmically. So I thought that was kind of cool. The other thing is too that I had two friends at that time who worked for Activision. Great guys. Funny enough, those two guys are worlds apart. I mean, the personalities and who they are is so fascinating. But they did know each other, but they didn't work on the same team. But they knew of each other because they worked at Activision. And so I remember that just everybody was into Guitar Hero, and of course then there was the competition, which was, I think it was a Rock Band. That was it, Rock Band. And I remember that you would go to Best Buy, especially around the holiday time, that you would see these Guitar Hero packages, and the Rock Band really blew my mind because it was just this humongous fucking package. I'm like, who the fuck is gonna go in there and buy that? It's such a it's very expensive just for a video game, but the box is so big because it's got so much shit in it. Well, obviously a lot of people did, from what I understand. It was good at college parties, and people would have, like these former karaoke guys would suddenly say, hey, fuck that, and we're having a Guitar Hero thing at this bar. And so it was just kind of blowing my mind. And I'll give you one quick anecdote about Guitar Hero too. So during this time was really popular, I had a guitar student come to me. Now he was a preteen, I think like 12 years old, maybe he was 13. But he just wouldn't practice, right? And so he told his mom, like, well, yeah, but I've been playing Guitar Hero. And so he made his mom ask me about Guitar Hero. Like, well, what do you think? Does playing Guitar Hero, will that make him better at guitar and able to make music? And it was a fascinating question because I had this is after I had played Guitar Hero that one time, and I said, well, there does seem to be a musical aspect of it. I mean, you do have to have a good sense of rhythm to play well at the game. And I just remember going, C, C, C. I was like, yeah, but that's not going to make you play guitar. There's a little more to playing guitar than just playing this video game as a substitute. I want to come back on this with you, but let's just keep that in the back of your mind about playing Guitar Hero and then translating to actually playing a real musical instrument, specifically guitar. From what I read in my research, 2011, Activision decided to call it quits with Guitar Hero. And then I think there was some other company in 2015 that tried to make a revival of it. And apparently, as far as critiques go, is really kind of a fun rebirth of the franchise. However, it didn't meet any sales expectations. It was a very lukewarm reception. And from what I read nowadays, the online servers are all gone. There's really nothing going on that I couldn't see with Guitar Hero. So all you have left really are the CDs that came with it or the downloads, because you could also buy a digital download. And I will say this much about the Guitar Hero franchise. I think what is really cool is for those artists or those bands that were selling the digital downloads. Let's just pick Metallica, because I remember that you could buy, Metallica packages. And I think it's one of those things that, these guys in Metallica in the 80s coming up, never in a billion years would have thought of, oh, look at the royalties I'm going to make as songwriters and as the band Metallica on digital downloads of our songs in the video game. It's just a whole brand new world of royalties. So that's kind of neat to see how digital kind of opened up new horizons for making money for bands and artists and songwriters and publishers, et cetera, et cetera. So that's actually kind of cool. Of course, that's all died down. So again, as far as I can tell, there is nothing going on with Guitar Hero. So this video is going to be kind of short because I didn't want to start digging in on all these companies and all these changes going on with Guitar Hero. But Guitar Hero went up, really kind of cool. It hit its peak, and then in 2011, by the time 2011 was coming on, the interest really died quick. And nowadays, there's really nothing there. In fact, I don't know anyone who plays Guitar Hero. I've never heard from anyone who sits down and says, yeah, let me play Guitar Hero. So I think that's kind of died down. But what I want to know from you guys, I really want to open up a conversation with you guys about Guitar Hero. I want to know, number one, do you still play Guitar Hero here and there? I'd love to know. Number two, did you start playing Guitar Hero and did it give you enough enthusiasm to say, hey, I'm gonna actually pick up guitar and learn how to play? So do any of you play guitar nowadays that got your enthusiasm and your influence from Guitar Hero? Did that translate into you picking up guitar and playing guitar nowadays? That is one I would really love to know. And number three, do you think Guitar Hero is going to make a comeback, that somehow some company is going to bring this back? Oh, and there is another thing I want to add here too. So those three questions, I want to hear from you, really. And the other thing that's really funny about this is that Gibson sued Activision and then also sued Amazon, Walmart, Target for patent violations. And it's really funny because I really wanted to know, like, well, what happened in court with this? Because that's no small lawsuit. A company big like Gibson suing Amazon or Target or Walmart, that's huge. And so I guess a court judge said, hey, essentially, and it said, well, hey, now hold on a second. Your patent definitely applies to a Gibson guitar when the output is analog, but not when it's spewing out this digital information. Those are two separate things. And I thought that was a very just fascinating. I'm sure there's more to it than that. I just read something really brief, a real brief summary about it. But ultimately, Gibson and all these other big names like Amazon, etc., I guess they all settled out of court for whatever amount of money. So I never thought about that, but I guess Guitar Hero had its problems, and so did the distributors, the vendors like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, etc., had their problems because Gibson said, hey, you know, you're selling our patents here, so you're violating a lot of patent law, blah, blah, blah. Real interesting. All right, let me know in the comments. I really want to hear from you. I really didn't want to go digging in deep into the history of Guitar Hero because it got more convoluted, it got longer and longer, and again, it just drove me crazy to see how many times different things change hands, and the relationship like this between Rock Band and Guitar Hero, it was driving me crazy, all this stuff. I just wanted to keep it short, to the point. I remember Guitar Hero. I want to know from you guys, those 3 questions. I want to hear from you guys about your experience with Guitar Hero, especially those of you who decided to pick up and play and join real bands and actually make music, write music, or just play covers, play guitar, and it's all due to Guitar Hero. I'd love to know, so let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching today, you guys. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk real soon.